Trolls come in all shapes and sizes. They are all kinds of monsters. They should be catalogued and showcased in a bestiary. A bestiary is a medieval collection of short descriptions of many types of animals, some real and some imaginary, accompanied by a moralizing explanation and perhaps a warning. Historically, accurate descriptions of real animals were given no more weight than those of fantastical creatures, which were often said to be located in the least accessible parts of the world and were usually monstrous hybrids of different animals. Some might be part bird and part human, or have both a human head and animal head, or be able to live on both land and sea. Bestiaries were didactic tools to improve the minds of the masses. The curious soul would get the opportunity to physically perceive things that it might struggle to imagine. So come and see a collection of real modern monsters. Trolls. What weird creatures they are, almost fantastical, as if they came from the least known parts of the world and are strange evolutionary throwbacks or maladaptations, or mutants. What sick creatures they are. Come with us and explore their strange world. Be prepared for future encounters with these monsters and abominations. They are breeding. They are crawling out from under every stone. Sewers are disgorging them. Every gutter is choked with them. What a world. What a nightmare. Welcome to hell. In The Road Less Traveled, Mr. Scott Peck said, "There is another problem with power. Aloneness. Here there is a similarity, in at least one dimension, between spiritual and political power. Someone who is approaching the peak of spiritual evolution is like someone at the peak of political power. There is no one above to whom to pass the buck, no one to blame, no one to tell you how to do it. There may not even be anyone on the same level to share the agony or the responsibility. Others may advise, but the decision is yours alone. Are you frightened of being the end of the line, where the buck stops, or enormously excited by that idea? Some people are natural-born leaders. They want to be the man who wears the crown. Most people are natural-born followers. They would never take that crown. Even if they did, it would fall off, or no one would accept it on their head." Monsieur Scott Peck said, "You alone are responsible." In another dimension, the aloneness of enormous spiritual power is even greater than that of political power. Since their level of awareness is seldom as high as their exalted positions, the politically powerful almost always have their spiritual equals with whom they can communicate. So presidents and kings will have their friends and cronies. But the person who has evolved to the highest level of awareness, of spiritual power, will likely have no one in his or her circle of acquaintances with whom to share such depth of understanding. Who can the smartest person talk to? No one understands him, and maybe everyone fears him or thinks he's insane. He has no peers. Those finding new paths are always on their own. They are the ultimate explorers. Miss Scott Peck said, "One of the most poignant themes of the Gospels is Christ's continual sense of frustration on finding that there was no one who could really understand him. No matter how hard he tried, how much he extended himself, he could not lift the minds of even his own disciples to his level. The wisest followed him but could not catch up with him, and all his love could not relieve him of the necessity to lead by walking ahead, utterly alone. This kind of aloneness is shared by all who travel the farthest on the journey of spiritual growth. It is such a burden that it simply could not be borne, were it not for the fact that as we outdistance our fellow humans, our relationship to God inevitably becomes correspondingly closer. In the communion of growing consciousness of knowing with God, there is enough joy to sustain us. This kind of aloneness is shared by all who travel the farthest on the journey of intellectual growth. Geniuses have no companions. Theirs is the loneliest job, as lonely as it gets. If you push, someone is sure to push back. That's the nature of the dialectic. Nietzsche said, "O my brothers, am I then cruel? But I say that which is falling should also be pushed."